This is our third time having taken in Petrified Forest National Park, and we've enjoyed each of our visits here. This time, however, we venture off the beaten path and take in a few locations that are infrequently traveled to within the park. If you haven't visited Petrified Forest, it is worth noting that it is a day-use park only. There is no place to stay within the park, and visitors must leave the park prior to nightfall. The closing time does change with the season, so please check this time and make note this section of Arizona does not honor DST or daylight savings time. The park has essentially a single road running its entire length. Access to the park can be made either from the north or south ends of the park. For this visit, we enter from the south. Proceeding in this direction means we will be taking in the portion of the park which contains the petrified trees first, and later on we will be taking in the vistas of the painted desert. Entering this way allows one to first visit the Rainbow Museum. This building is a small building, but presents a wealth of information on the contents of the park and the transformation of the planet that allowed the creation of the petrified trees. We strongly recommend making this stop a priority of your visit to the park. From the visitor center, we take the hiking trail to the Agate House. This underappreciated trail offers excellent samples of petrified trees and, in my humble opinion, is a better option than the trails for this purpose which are behind the visitor center. This trail is an easy walk on pavement and ends at the Agate House. This is a reconstruction of a house which formerly stood on this location. The reconstruction started with a geologic excavation of the dimensions and are accurate on many of the details. The stones used in the structure were taken from the dig. While the dimensions are accurate, the window in the main living room is not, as entry to the constructions of this time period was made through ladders extending through the roof of the building. Even with this mistake, the reconstruction is a beautiful recreation of the residence of these early inhabitants to this location. On this day, we take a hike that few even know about, much less take. It is Butte Trail, and it begins by passing under a bridge which carries the traffic of the main road overhead. For the first third of the hike, we're walking in a dry wash. It is a bit sandy, but in general, an easy to follow walking trail. There are many good hiking trails within the park, although the one we take today you will not find shown within the national park listings. We found this trail on the All Trails application. It is an out and back 2.7-mile hike that terminates at a butte. At the foot of this butte are many excellent petroglyphs left by early travelers through this region. The trail exit of the dry wash is very easy to miss, so if you follow in our footsteps, I recommend bringing along a GPS and download the track. Once you exit the wash, the trail becomes more of a direction than a well-marked trail, although there are a few cairns that do appear farther along in the trail. There are several buttes towards the end of the trail. Using the GPS track, you can figure out which one is the right one and head towards it.
You didn't see them till just now, honey? I know. I said that circle thing that they do. I think that's the circle of life or something like that.
The majority of the petroglyphs appear on the front side of the butte, but for the most part, these recordings are still pristine and have not been marred by modern-day visitors. One of the first that we come across is the spiral, which I find fascinating, as this image has been found in ancient societies throughout the globe. I have read various theories as to its meaning, such as whirlpools and waterways, but no one knows for sure what the creators of these images really meant by it.
Pretty established trail.
Again, my understanding, via my readings, is the method used to create the drawings involves using a rock to strike a stick or other strong pointed chisel-like instrument to tap in the markings. The favorite canvas was the sandstone with a high degree of varnish. The tappings remove the varnish and a small amount of sandstone. The crude method produces quite accurate depictions of the native inhabitants' lifestyles.
Here's one. Look at the footprint. Look at the footprint. Oh wow. Like stairs. Those ones in the front, I kind of doubt, but I don't doubt this one. Look at the guy. Look at the Indian, Native American, like playing a flute or something.
This is to the eastern side of the Butte, and we are looking backwards from the direction we just came from. That's all they did on this one? Yeah, that one might be fake. I think she's right. I think this is somebody's modern day graffiti defacing historical artifacts. Heading out, we leave the Petrified Forest behind and get into the center of the park. There are a few tourist-type stops that we pass, as we have seen these before. If you have not been to the park previously, then Crystal Forest and Agate Bridge are two quick stops that are worth making. Besides these two, a necessary stop is at the Route 66 exchange. It is here that Route 66 crossed across this landscape, and its location is memorialized by the antique car body and placard denoting the history and location of the road that once connected Chicago with California. The first of the painted desert vistas can be seen at the Blue Mesa offshoot. The first stop will confuse some, as the buttes, seen here, are much more brown than any other color. However, going around the corner, continuing the loop, is the trail which leads down into the beautiful Blue Mesa area, and this is a must-see spot for any and all visitors. Farther into the park, you'll pass through the beautiful teepees, and I recommend slowing down and enjoying them thoroughly. They are still truly amazing. Much of what we see within the painted desert is from sedimentary deposits laid down in the late Triassic period, that is approximately 200 to 230 million years ago. This region was once located near the equator on the northwestern edge of the supercontinent Pangaea. At that time, northeastern Arizona exhibited subtropical environments with large rivers, floodplains, and swamps. Sedimentary deposits range from clay-sized particles and sand-sized grains to cobbles and pebbles. Over time, the deposits were compressed and cemented to form rocks. The badlands seen today reveal a very distinct landscape. The Blue Mesa area was probably a system dominated by rivers and swamps, which deposited thick layers of clay, silt, and mud. The Painted Desert Inn was originally the Stone Tree House and built of petrified wood and other native stone. Originally finished in the 1920s by Harvard David Lohr, it was registered with the Homestead Act. For almost 12 years, Lohr operated the Stone Tree House as a tourist attraction. Visitors could eat meals in a lunchroom, purchase American Indian artifacts and crafts, and enjoy a cool drink in the downstairs tap room. Petrified Forest National Monument purchased the Painted Desert Inn in 4 sections of land, 4 square miles, for $59,400 in 1936. The Painted Desert Inn was redesigned. Well-known architect Lyle Bennett created a new look for the inn. In conjunction with efforts by the CCC, the redesigned inn was reopened in 1940. The changes were not complete, however. In 1947, Mary Coulter arrived to make additional updates and color changes. It was then that renowned hobby artist Fred Cabote was hired to paint murals on the dining and lunchroom halls. A unique feature seen within the landscape behind the Painted Desert Inn overlook is the black rock cap atop the layered structures. The black rock is known as basalt, a volcanic material deposited about 8 million years ago. This leaves a gap between materials of about 200 million years. This separation is known as an unconformity. A hero of mine, Theodore Roosevelt, created Petrified Forest National Monument on December 8, 1906. It was later designated a national park on December 9, 1962 by then President John F. Kennedy. Today, the park protects a total of 221,390 acres. Thank you for joining us as we toured Petrified Forest National Park. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like or subscribe to our channel. Thank you and have a great day.